Howdy, folks, and welcome to day 23 of the Boat and RV 100 series. I'm Joe Downs with Storage Moguls, and today I'm walking you through how to build a boat and RV pro forma that actually reflects what this asset does, which is very different from running a self-storage spreadsheet and calling it done. I'm going to be straight with you. Most investors underwrite this asset wrong for the first time because they flatten the seasonal pattern into an annual average. I don't want to do that. That's a mistake. We're going to fix it today. And if you want to be a part of a group of people that geek out over stuff like this, you should join us at storagemoguls.ai. That's storagemoguls.ai. No fluff, no upsell on day one, just the tools, the community, and the education you won't get anywhere else. So here's what the community actually is. It's real people doing real deals, not gurus, not coaches, operators, the couple who bought their first facility working nights and weekends, the guy who got laughed out of a bank and figured out seller financing instead, the woman who did her first deal while still working a corporate job. That's the room. The deals we focus on, 400,000 to 2 million. That range is intentional. It's intentional because it's financeable, and we're going to show you how. Size right for someone who isn't a fund manager but serious about building something, real results. That's what our community is. People are closing deals, not planning to, actually doing it. You can start for free. There's no pressure. You build up from there. Back to today, because a pro forma that doesn't model the seasonal cycle isn't a pro forma. It's a guess and not a good one. The self-storage pro forma is built around flat monthly assumptions, annual divided by 12, a single vacancy rate, stable monthly NOI. That works because self-storage demand is relatively flat across the calendar year. Boat and RV storage doesn't work that way. Revenue spikes in fall, move-in season, holds through winter, softens in spring, and dips in summer when vehicles are in active use. A pro forma that ignores this pattern will produce an NOI number that is either too high or too low, depending on which part of the cycle you're averaging across. More importantly, the lender who sees a flat monthly revenue model on a boat and RV deal is going to have questions. Lender who sees a monthly model with a seasonal annotation will understand the asset. That's the difference that affects whether you close. The foundation of the pro forma is a monthly revenue model built from the trailing 24 months of actual data. Pull 24 months of monthly revenue from the seller. For each calendar month, calculate the average across the 2 years. The average September, the average October, the average July. That 2-year average smooths anomalies and gives you a representative seasonal baseline. Then assign occupancy brackets to each seasonal period. Fall move-in season runs 90 to 100% in strong markets. Winter holds at 85 to 95%. Spring might soften to 75 to 88% as vehicles head back out to the water or the parks. Summer troughs, 65 to 80% is normal and healthy. The annotation column is what transforms this from a spreadsheet into a story. Summer gap, vehicles in active recreational use is the annotation that tells the lender what they're looking at. That sentence prevents the conversation where the lender asks why occupancy is 70% in July. Here's 7 expense lines. Most carry over from self-storage, but a few have boat and RV specific nuances. For property taxes, check whether the assessed value will reset on the sale price in your state. A significant step up in assessed value post-close can materially change your expense model. Insurance can be interesting because near waterway facilities carry higher premiums and require specific endorsements for marine and vehicle storage. So get an insurance quote during due diligence. Don't model self-storage rates. On management, if you're paying for one call resolution standard, and you should be, budget 10 to 12% of effective gross revenue. Self-storage management is more automatable and can run lower. With maintenance, the amenity upkeep is higher than self-storage. Air compressor stations, rinse equipment, gate systems, security cameras all require regular service. So budget it explicitly. When you plan for reserves, don't model them flat. Budget for the summer trough in your cash flow model and hold CapEx reserves separately. The combination should be 5 to 8% of EGR minimum. The 4-layer NOI structure is what separates a credible boat and RV pro forma from a single number spreadsheet. For in-place NOI, Show trailing revenue at actual in-place rents. Don't clean it up. Show the seasonal pattern, annotate the summer trough, present it honestly. Lenders who feel like you're being straight with them trust the rest of the model more. For stabilized NOI, you want a 24-month average by calendar month applied to current rent rates with one-time events removed. This is what you expect the facility to perform at under normal operation. It's your hold case. For enhanced NOI, you want to show market rents applied to stabilized occupancy, plus the value-add improvements you plan to execute. Each improvement gets its own line. Coverage structured addition at this cost. Rate increase to market on this many spaces. Amenity upgrade that reduces churn. Specificity is what makes this layer credible. For downside NOI, show the fall occupancy 10 points below your base case. Can you still service the debt? Do you break even? This is the stress test your lender's going to run. Do it first and have the answer ready. Presenting it proactively tells the lender you've modeled the risk. Two variables drive a boat and RV performance more than any others: fall occupancy and average rent per space. Test both across 3 scenarios. First, the downside. The fall occupancy, show it 10 points lower or below your base assumption. Rents flat at current levels. This is the stress test. If this scenario doesn't service the debt, you're buying with insufficient margin. Know this before you make an offer. Then you have your base case. Trailing average fall occupancy, modest 5% rent increase in year one. This is what you're underwriting to. Conservative, but achievable given market conditions. And then upside. Fall occupancy reflects a documented waiting list, absorbing new move-ins, rents pushed to full market rate in year one. That's your ceiling. What the deal becomes if you execute well. The sensitivity table goes in your lender package. It tells the lender 3 things. 1, you understand the risk. 2, you've modeled it through. And 3, the deal works across multiple scenarios. That's the credibility signal that moves a hesitant lender towards yes. The pro forma is the centerpiece of your lender package. Everything else builds context around it. For market overview, you need supply gap data for this specific county, registration numbers, HOA density, competing facility inventory. This establishes why the demand is real and why the occupancy you're projecting is supportable. For the facility description, use photos of the site, space inventory by category, show an amenity list, and access description. The lender needs to visualize the asset. Most have never seen one of these deals. In your pro forma, remember you need to show a 12-month monthly model with 4 NOI layers annotated for the seasonal pattern. This is the document that carries the most weight when comps are scarce. For the sensitivity analysis, show the 3 scenarios with a debt service check on each. It shows you understand the risk and have modeled through it. For rent comps, what competing facilities in the market are charging per space by type? Show it. Show independent evidence of for your revenue assumptions. For your comparable transactions, use whatever you can find. They're hard to. Adjacent markets, similar facility types, even imperfect comps, 3 partial comps, something beats an empty section. For operator credentials, use your experience, your team, your approach to the service standard. Lenders underwrite the borrower as much as the asset in this vertical. Boat and RV is operationally intensive, and lenders want to see that you understand what you're taking on. Here's the frame. A pro forma that averages across the seasonal cycle is not wrong because it's complicated. It's wrong because it's lazy. The monthly model is a little harder to build, not much. It just requires 24 months of data and the discipline to treat each calendar month as its own assumption. So build the monthly model, 4 NOI layers, sensitivity analysis, annotate the seasonal patterns so your lender understands what they're looking at. All right, folks, next up, day 24, making an offer. That's exciting. The LOI language specific to boat and RV acquisitions. That's our title. And we're going to take that the pro forma you just built and put it in front of the seller and show you the LOI and contract language specific to boat and RV acquisitions, the contingencies that protect you, the clauses that don't exist in standard self-storage LOI or contract, and the seller financing language that opens deals others can't close. All right, please like this video. If something clicked today about why the seasonal pro forma is not optional, this is the whole ball game. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow, day 24, the LOI episode. It's going to be riveting, I promise. And share this with someone who's building their first boat and RV pro forma right now and still running annual averages. Send it to them right now directly. It'll save them from an expensive mistake. The pro forma is not a formality. It's the argument. Build it right, and you're a more credible buyer. You'll have a better lender conversation, and you'll be a smarter operator from day one. And guess what? StorageMoguls.ai has the tools, full framework, and the community to work through it with you. Stay with us through section 2 because every episode connects. Tomorrow, we take everything you build on and put it in front of the seller. And again, join us at StorageMoguls.ai if you want to build real and close real. See you tomorrow.